question is now that the motion as amended be agreed to. Ms Lauder. Ms Lauder.
I don't think I've ever been mistaken for a Greens member before. I'm not positive it's a compliment, but nevertheless, I'm just rising to reiterate some of the comments that have been made today and very much agree with them. You know, the community housing sector and a number of organisations have advocated for years for the types of measures that were proposed in Ms Lakuta's original motion. And most recently, for example, we heard from the YWCA on the Community Day of Estimates hearings where they talked about this type of occurrence as well. I think it's something that people in the community housing sector can see as one part of the complex jigsaw to address housing affordability here in the ACT. Because it is complex, there is no one magic bullet, and if it was easy, it would have been done long before now. But what is also the truth is that the government's policies over the past 15 and more years have contributed towards housing unaffordability. This one small measure today from Ms Lakuta could have been a little drop in the ocean towards addressing that affliction that many in our community face every day about housing affordability, whether as a buyer or a renter, in this case, more about renting. But what appears to have happened here is that Ms Lakuta has come in already, despite Mr Parton feeling he had a form of agreement with the Greens about who might support the motion, that the Greens already knew what the government might be proposing and once more have acted as part of the government and backing up the government amendments. This is what we see time after time, not a crossbench in the true sense, but acting as the government. And sadly, that's what's happened today. And whilst the amended motion has some good elements to it, and I, for one, very much look forward to what the government is going to come out with in terms of the report after the engagement that's been ongoing for quite some time. I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic, not necessarily confident, but cautiously optimistic that at long last, something might take place where this government will help to use the policy levers that they have to address housing affordability. Of course, supported by the Greens, who are absolutely in lockstep with the government as part of the government. That's been demonstrated once again today. And I think on our side of the chamber, we're always surprised. And in some ways, I'm surprised that we're surprised, because it's a pattern of behaviour that happens over and over again, even when we feel that we have some agreement. So I just wanted to make that point, that there were some excellent points in the original motion. Once again, the government has worked in collusion, in lockstep with the Greens to get through, I guess, a slightly watered down version, but which doesn't actually commit to the action that was called for in the original motion. And I suspect that Ms Lakuta knew all along that that's what